We are getting you ready for your holiday entertaining. Real Simple magazine recently featured what they call 4 ingenious products to make Thanksgiving easier, but they could also help out for your other holiday festivities. You got Christmas, New Year's coming up. You got a lot of holidays coming with probably friends and families. So let's talk about some of these items. We have the Herb and Lou's infused cubes. You just freeze the juice and the infused cubes, then drop one in a shaker with alcohol to mix up a drink. There's also the Yeti Hopper Flip 12, which has a liner, and you can keep food cold for up to 24 hours. Those things are pretty cool. And another product is the Mason Cash 2-in-1 rolling pin. It's also a flour shaker and has a ruler. And that brings us to the 4th item, a portion baking pan from Perfect Slice. The creator of Perfect Slice is Becky Parr. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Nice to be here.
And you say you were a housewife when you came up with the Perfect Slice. So you came up with this idea. Talk about how you came up with it.
Well, I have a 13-year-old daughter, and my house was the party house. So I was always feeding different numbers of kids or sports teams.
Yep.
And they all had to have an equal slice, or there would be bloodshed.
Oh, right. Oh, that slice is bigger. No, yours is bigger.
Oh, awful. That's right. And I didn't want to run out. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes the kid at the back of the buffet line didn't have any food.
Yep.
So out of desperation one day, I got my pan out and I put inch marks all the way across it. But I couldn't cut a straight line. You know, if you can't draw one, you certainly can't cut one. So I got out a dough cutter, and it didn't go all the way across, but almost. And I realized, wow, I can just line up those marks and press down, and I can cut 12 servings or 16 servings or 2x2s or 3x3s. And I was also a Weight Watcher at the time.
Oh, okay.
And you know, all the recipes will tell you exact serving sizes, but they don't tell you how to get those exact serving sizes.
So this way, there's no question. You know exactly how big it is.
Yeah, if you need 16 servings in that recipe, you can cut them.
And so you have an example of kind of how it works over here.
This is our best-selling pan. This is our covered, what we call our take and bake.
Oh.
It's really, really sturdy. And every pan comes with its own slicer, and this one snaps right into the lid, so you'll never get to your party without your cutter.
Oh, I love how it just all comes together like that.
And you'll see that, again, this is our 9x12. There's inch marks all the way around, and I wanted 12 servings to get my 220 calories in this pan. So I lined up every third mark, and I just pressed down. And in no time at all, I've got 12 perfect servings. I know exactly how many people I can feed, and I also know what the calorie count is.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I think a lot of people would agree. Talk about the process of how you went from that idea in your kitchen to getting this now sold online and in 60 countries.
Yes.
So did you have to apply for a patent? What were some of the first steps?
Well, the first step I did was I went to the internet to make sure it didn't already exist.
Right.
When it didn't exist, I went to a patent attorney because I realized pretty quickly that it was very commercial.
Okay.
And after that, I had a friend that said, you know, Becky, I want to introduce you to someone. And he took me to the International Houseware Show, and he introduced me to BergHOFF Corporation. And they pretty much own the bakeware industry in Europe. And they took one look at my silly little marked up pan and my marketing plan, saying who I thought would buy it. And he said, Becky, that's going to sell in 60 countries.
And now it does.
And it does.
If you could give someone any advice of what to do, and then maybe a mistake that you might have made, can you let us know?
Yes. My advice is believe in yourself. You're going to have a lot of people that say that's no good. But if you need it and you want it and you can't find it, chances are there's a market for it.
If you see a need for it, somebody else probably has a need for it.
That's right. That's what happened to me. I had a lot of people tell me, Becky, that is such a simple solution to portion control.
Yep.
Someone's bound to have thought of it.
And are there any mistakes that you made or that you see other inventors make that you wish that they would avoid?
Well, I did not make this particular mistake, but I think a lot of people do, and that is they just leave it sitting, a great idea sitting on their table.
So act
they never
on it.
take that next step of going to see a patent attorney. You need to make sure that you protect your idea so someone else doesn't take it.
That is great advice. Just some motivation for someone out there that does have that great idea, is just sitting on it. somebody might need to use that, like this pan.
That's right, this pan. And also I want to show you that it makes your party platters beautiful. So if you're a hostess.
Looks good. Perfect bite. So I'm
That's
going to
right.
grab one of those while we send it over to the weather. Jeff, I promise I will save you some.